Jane Austen would have said, it's a truth universally acknowledged that if you're going to resign in Westminster, you do it on a Friday, ideally in the afternoon, just before the Evening Standard's print edition. And the tradition is ancient. Think Cicero, but better with better PR. Because today it's Matthew Doyle's turn to obey the unspoken code. And Doyle, Keir Starmer's long-serving communications director, stepped down from number 10 just after 9 months in the post. And it's not just a resignation, but a cipher, an elegant hint that something's not quite right inside the machinery of the Labour government. And even if the public can't see the jamming of the cogs, the exit and the reshuffle are the smoke signals of inner unrest. And Doyle was no amateur. This was a man who, in New Labour's heyday, cut his teeth as Blair's deputy head of communications and helped steer Gordon Brown through the gladiatorial trauma of the TV debates. He worked with David Miliband in the International Rescue Committee and even ran Liz Kendall's doomed leadership bid in 2015, a campaign that won no power but plenty of media coverage. His reappointment in 2021, following Labour's abject humiliation in Hartlepool, was seen as a mark of professional seriousness. So why does he leave now, so soon into the Starmer era of government? Officially, he says he's passing the baton, a phrase suspiciously overused in political resignation, second only to spending more time with the family. And his supporters say he's stabilised the shop after a chaotic summer marked by the riots, by the freebies scandal and confusion over budget cuts. But others whisper that Doyle was already being sidelined, and there was a report, a Just Stop Doyle movement brewing inside Labour circles, and one insider told the BBC that it had long been clear that Lyons was actually in charge. James Lyons, that is, the man of the hour. Lyons, who now ascends to the lofty perch of Director of Strategic Communications, is no stranger to the Labour Party, nor to controversy. He's a former Sunday Times political editor, once aligned with Rupert Murdoch's media empire. This, to many of the Labour left, is tantamount to installing the fox in the henhouse. Lyons has previously been implicated in the perpetuation of the Labour anti-Semitism narrative, notably smearing Jeremy Corbyn's son over a play critical of Israel. And in a moment of political farce worthy of the thick of it, he was caught plotting against Corbyn on a public train in 2017. And now this figure, with ties to both TikTok and News UK, is being trusted to direct the public narrative of a government that stars itself as a sober alternative to Tory chaos. Even Starmer's defenders might raise an eyebrow. This shift in personnel follows another major departure, that of Sue Gray, the former civil servant turned chief of staff turned baroness, who was shoved aside in a power struggle with Starmer's campaign guru Morgan McSweeney. Within 9 months, Starmer had lost 2 of his senior advisers, or has lost 2 of his senior advisers. That is not a government exuding confidence. That's a government trying to find the floor beneath its feet. The decision to divide Doyle's former role between Lyons and Steph Driver, another Labour veteran, now in charge of delivery, is itself revealing. It suggests the operation is neither slick nor centralised. Indeed, Lyons has already recommended that ministers appear in lifestyle magazines and supermarket catalogues to reach real people. The modern comms strategy, it seems, is less Alistair Campbell, more take a break. But this is merely a strategic refresh or a deeper sign of malfunction. Labour's media approach since taking office has been widely criticised, even by its own. The infamous freebies row involving concert tickets and donors, the confused messaging over spending cuts, the mishandled narrative around riots all point to a disjointed communications machine. And while Labour still commands the parliamentary numbers, its polling momentum is waning and by-election performances have been less than stellar. In other words, This isn't a staff reshuffle, it's a signal of considerable strain, a stress fracture under the slick exterior, the kind that leaders often fail to notice until it becomes a fault line. So, what are we to make of this? Keir Starmer now governs with not just with a majority, but with a mission to prove competence. And communications, far more than policy, is the modern test of that competence. Losing Doyle, however amicably framed, and elevating Lyons, however qualified, is a gamble, a strategic bet that what Labour needs now is not steady hands but sharp elbows. But the irony may prove bitter. For if Lyons doesn't tame the message, if the internal rivalries continue to leak into public view, and if the electorate begins to sense disarray, then Starmer's government risks becoming precisely what it was elected to replace: a revolving door of advisers, an unclear vision, and, above all, a failure to communicate.